Shalom לכל ישראליתים, לבני יעקב, בארבעות כנפות של הארץ. כאן אסף בנמי קריספין, הזקן של יישוב ישראלית בעיר פריירה ברט. אני הייתי רוצה להזמין אותך והמשפחה וכל ישראליתים להצטרף איתי להקראה של תורה. Here, the elder Assaf Benami Crispin Levi, from יישוב Israelite of Pereira Barreto City, Brazil, and I would like to invite you to follow with me once more the studies of the Torah. And first, I would like to thank you, all the men and women of good hearts who have helped us with the donations, with the tithe, with the offerings. And thank you very much. That the Eternal One bless you. Well, we stopped we stopped in the last week about the Yom Teruah, and now we're approaching the Yom Kippur, the day of our redemption, the day of the Kippurah. The day of expiation. And in our life of Shabbat, I'm going to explain about the importance of Yom Kippur, and on Monday or Sunday, I will record a video about the Yom Kippur. But now we are going to continue with the 613 commandments, the constitution of eternal kingdom, the codified Torah. And if you don't have this book, you can ask us, write us, and we have the pleasure to send it to you. Well, we're speaking about the item where it is mentioned the clean animals fit for consumption and offerings. And in the last study, we stopped at the item 145. And now we're going to continue with the item 146. And 146, to be fit for consumption, clean animals must be slaughtered. Do not eat what dies of itself or is killed by wild beasts. And I invite you to read with me this item, these verses, in Devarim 12, verses 21. When the place where Yahweh, your Elohim, chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock, which Yahweh has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat with them your gates, as much as your being desires. Well, these animals to be fit for consumption, they must be clean animals. we can't eat unclean animals, and we can't eat the animals that has been killed by the other animals, or that dies by itself, because the eternal is pure, and the observers of the Torah must be pure, like Yahweh ordered in the Torah, be pure, like I am being pure. I'm pure. Well, do not eat what dies of itself or is killed by wild beasts. It's very important to notice that we check in the meat that we're going to eat, that each does be impure, or want to be impure. Well, let's read this item in the oral law in Abraham's time, in Job's times, in Yaakov's times. Item number 146. 146. Bereshit 18:7. Bereshit 18:7. Bereshit. Genesis. Bereshit. Bereshit 18:7. And Abraham ran to the herd, took a tender and a good calf, gave it to a young man, and he hurried to prepare it. And we must offer it to the Eternal One the best animals. We must to eat for our health the best animals as well, not impure animals, not unclean animals. And then when the Malach, the angel, appeared to Abraham, and he went to the herd, and he prepared a good tender and good calf, gave it to a young man, and he hurried to prepare it, because the Eternal One is pure, and our body must be pured as well. Then we can see here the zeals, Abraham's zeals for the things to be offered to the Eternal One. Abraham was perfect and before the Eternal One. And he gave a good example for us, his seed. Well, we're going to see now this item 146. In Yahushua's time, in Talmidim of Yahushua's time as well. 146. Masei Shlihim, Acts of Apostles, Masei Shlihim, Acts of Apostles, chapter 15, verse 29. Let's go there. Acts of Apostles, or Masei Shlihim, chapter 15, verses 29. And that you abstain from what is offered to idols, and blood, and what is strangled, and whoring. If you keep yourselves from these, you shall do well, be strong. Well, we can see here this recommendation of apostles to the Kehilots that they should abstain from the idols, from the unclean animals, and what is strangled and whoring. And sometimes I heard some leaders, evangelical leaders, to speak, no, we are not obliged to keep the Torah because this was the recommendation of the apostles. No, it's wrong because this commandment, it's written in the Torah. It's written in the Torah. To keep out from the idols, from the blood and what is strangled, that the laws of kashrut. We must be pure, like the Eternal One is pure. And we must be a good heart. We must be a good body as well. Free from unclean eating, unclean drinking. Because our body is the temple of Holy Spirit. Or Ruach HaKodesh. Well, let's go to the item number 147. 147. 147. The blood of slaughtered clean animal must be poured on the ground and covered with earth. Vaikra 17, chapter 17, verses 10 to 16. Let's read it. Vaikra 17. Verse 10 to 16. And any man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who eats any blood, I shall set my face against that being who eats blood, and shall cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your lives. For it is the blood that makes atonement for the life. Therefore, I said to the children of Israel, no being among you eats blood, nor does any stranger who sojourns among you eat blood. And any man from the children of Israel or from the strangers who sojourns among you, who hunts and catches any beast or bird which is eaten shall pour out its blood and cover it with dust, for it is the life of all flesh. Its blood is for its life. And I said to the children of Israel, do not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Anyone eat it is cut off. And any being who eats a carcass, what was torn by a beast, be he a native or a stranger, he shall wash his garment and bathe in water, and shall be unclean until evening. Then he shall be clean. And if he does not wash or bathe his body, then he shall bear his crookedness. Well, we can't eat them. And when we kill a chicken for us to eat, or a cow, or a calf for us eating, we must pour out the dung upon the earth, and to cover it with dust, like it's written in the Torah, because there was commandments. Well, let's see this item. The blood of slaughtered clean animal must be poured on the ground and covered with earth. Oral law. Bereshit 9:5. Bereshit 9:5. But only your blood for your lives I require. From the land of every beast I require it, and from the hand of man. From the hand of every man brother I require the life of man. You can see that the Eternal One spoke to Noah that he will require from the man the dung of other men, because this is the criminals, the assassins, the murderers, don't enter in the kingdom of heaven. They will cut off from the kingdom of heaven. The dung is life. Well, let's read it in Yeshua's time. This item 147. Masei Shilihim, Act of Apostles, chapter 15, Masei Shilihim. Chapter 15, 29. That you abstain from what is offered to idols, and blood, and what is strangled, and warring. If you keep yourselves from these, you shall do well. Be strong. Then, when we kill a bird, kill animal, clean animal for us eating, we must cover their blood with dust of earth, because it's Yahweh's commandment. Thank you very much for your attention. Toda rabah lesin lev shelcha ויחווה ברוך אתה והמשפחה גם, זאת הברכה שלי, זאת התפילה שלי אליך ולמשפחה גם. שלום לכולם. בחשן יהוא שוע, השם של ברית עולם.